Welcome to Nerd Sports. Today we're going to talk about 1984.
The book?
The book. You're like, the book or the movie?
I'm like, please say it's the book. Episode 25, man.
Yeah, we made it this far.
Good Lord. Our special guest.
Yeah, we didn't. We were going to have a special guest, but he ended up, even yesterday when we were actually going to do the sports episode, he ended up...
he had to go call the Coyotes game.
Yeah. So we are extra person-less, but we are still going on.
We are here for you. We are here to impregnate your ear holes.
Yeah. We are going to do nasty, nasty things to your ear holes.
Sweet nothings.
It's going to be awesome. What? I'm looking up. I mean, there wasn't really that much sports news this week other than...
Well, it's the final week of the regular season for baseball.
For baseball, yeah. Who's
the Yankees and Red Sox had a series over the weekend, and, well... The Red Sox shit the bed. There was a really bad call by Jim West. It was on Aaron Judge. He fucking struck out, right? And if you look at the play in real time, I mean, it looks like he dropped the ball, right? Talking about Christian Vasquez, the Red Sox catcher. But if you slow it down, he dropped the ball on the transfer. Now, the way that the rule book reads is that if a player fielding a ball drops the ball on a transfer, we're talking about transferring the glove for the ball from the glove to the throwing hand, that still counts as a catch. Well, the umpire behind home plate just shit the bed on that call. Horrendous, right? And it's one of those non-challengeable calls.
Yeah.
So Aaron Judge gets an extra pitch at that at-bat and ends up, extending the inning, and then Giancarlo Stanton happened, and everybody's talking about the Yankees are doing what the Yankees do, and the Red Sox are doing what the Red Sox are supposed to be doing. But
well, going off this list, it looks like for East, Tampa Bay Rays,
mm-hmm.
Central, Chicago White Sox, and West.
West is going to be Houston.
Houston Astros.
But
did they cheat this year?
I'm going to refrain from that conversation. However, switching over to the wild card.
Well, we got the National Leagues. It's the Braves for East, Central Milwaukee Brewers, and
mm-hmm.
for West, San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, over the weekend, though, it was like a mass exodus. You had 6 teams in the American League get officially eliminated from playoff contention.
Good Lord.
And that is Cleveland, Detroit, Los Angeles, Kansas City, Minnesota, and Texas.
The Dodgers?
No, Los Angeles Angels.
Oh, okay.
But right now, mathematically speaking, the Yankees have a 1-game lead over Boston for the wild card, leading the wild card, and then Toronto is a game out behind Boston. Now,
I'm trying to figure out what this X. I see the E. And that,
yeah, the X means that they've clinched a playoff berth. Usually, a Y will designate that they've clinched their division. So Chicago and Tampa Bay.
What's Z?
Z is. Let me see here. Hold on, I knew that.
Oh, here we go.
Well, it depends on what site.
No, Z is clinch playoff berth.
Well, MLB.com has got an X and Y. So X.
Yeah, I'm looking at ESPN.
Yeah, no. Well, but on MLB.com, you'll either have an X or a Y. X means you've clinched a playoff berth versus the Y, which is where you've clinched your division. So this week, particularly the two series that kick off tonight, it's going to be very, very, very important as it relates to the American wild card race, the American League wild card race, rather. The Yankees are facing the Blue Jays, who are, like I said earlier, a game out. I mean, they're on the outside looking in, but they're a game back from the Red Sox.
So if they win, they actually go in the playoffs.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So if
damn it,
the Yankees lose
There we go.
to the Blue Jays, which is incredibly feasible because the Blue Jays are tenaciously they're notorious for playing the role of the spoiler. So if Boston can sweep Baltimore, who they're playing for the next 3 games, which we got Chris Sale going on the mound for Boston tonight. So it's entirely feasible that Baltimore sitting at 50 wins and 106 losses right now will get swept again because we just swept Baltimore last week. Okay, and so if Boston can sweep Baltimore, and even if Toronto gets swept by the Yankees, that means everybody's held serve, and that just what that would effectively do at that point, I think it would be almost all but eliminate Toronto from the playoffs. But if the Yankees manage to drop 1 or 2 games there, and the Red Sox can sweep the Orioles, then at that point, Boston and New York will flip places in the wild card standings. The reason why that's important is that the team with the higher, with the best record between the 2 wild card spots gets to host the wild card game. Okay, the 1-game playoff.
Yeah.
Now, would I rather play Toronto in the wild card game? Yes. And it's not because I'm afraid of the Yankees lineup or anything like that. We've shown that we can beat them. But it's just that I want to hear. I want to have that Obi-Wan Kenobi moment where I hear 1,000 voices cry out.
All at once.
All at once. And that is the entirety of the Yankees fan base screaming that they got screwed. Because it's never their team's fault, unless it's just so egregious that they're just out there, shit in the bed.
Yeah.
But still, nonetheless, I want to hear Yankees fans from all across the globe bitch and moan because they have to sit on the couch and watch the World Series just like their team usually has to.
Could you imagine someone in Mongolia? No.
Right?
You're like, I felt that.
I did. I felt that.
Oh, that felt so good.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say that was almost orgasmic.
So good.
But St. Louis has been kind of on a tear lately. They've won 16 games in a row going into today.
So if they make 22 or no 21, they beat out the
they'll beat the
A's.
The A's win streak of 20. But is it going to happen? Yeah, probably not, because tonight they go against Milwaukee, who won the division from St. Louis. So it's feasible that they would have that they can pull off a couple of wins. Honestly, if Cincinnati or Philadelphia each lose a game, then they're both eliminated, and St. Louis won't have to do anything. They can lose, but the other 2 teams have to lose also. Because the way that the wild card standings stack up for the National League, the Dodgers are in. They've got a 13-game lead. Okay, the Giants they haven't officially won their division yet, but because right now, regular season, let's see here, the Giants have a 2-game lead over the Dodgers. Okay, so with 6 games left, that means that the Dodgers either need to lose 5 games or the Giants need to win the next 5 games, or a combination of the 2. So that 5, that's what they call the magic number, right? Mm-hmm. So if the Giants win a game and the Dodgers lose a game, then that takes that magic number and reduces it to 4. And if both teams win, the number stays static until tomorrow. And at which point, if both teams win again, then that number still reduces itself to 4, because at that point there would only be 5 games left.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all about mathematical theory here.
Well, that's all baseball is, really. It goes on the whole. A lot of math majors love baseball only because it's a sport that sometimes can be won by mathematics.
Yeah, I mean, some of the most unlikely things happen in the game, and that's one of the reasons why I love it, especially this time of year. I mean, every game over the 162 game season generally tends to add up, and I mean, it may not seem like it when you're in the middle of the grind of the summer, but when you start getting down towards the last month and a half of the season, then towards the last week of the season, you start looking at these pennant races. It's really, I mean, you start to see how those numbers stack up and how each win, or and conversely each loss, matters. I mean, it's just significantly magnified. So
see, that's one thing I don't understand about baseball. It's kind of like soccer in a way, to the point to where even the your win-loss ratio and everything like that. But in soccer, it's also draws too.
yeah,
So
and that's just because there's no ties in baseball.
yeah.
Not unless the commissioner decides to step in and say, "Oh, hey, we're going to have a tie here." No, because there's not supposed to be any ties in baseball. Now, the Japanese do that, and they do that as a matter of etiquette, because games that are played during the week, if the score is tied after a certain time at night, the game ends in a draw because everybody has to go to work the next day.
Yeah.
But I mean, generally speaking, that's not the way that we like to do things here in the the American version of the game.
Yeah, we go in overtime.
Yeah, I mean, we go to extra innings, and and it's, I mean, there have been games that have gone like 20-something innings. I mean, these have been like 6, 7,
Really?
8-hour games.
What the?
Yeah.
I bet they're just pissed off afterwards.
Oh, dude, they're tired. The benches are completely exhausted. I mean, you've got position players coming in to pitch versus pitchers because you don't have anybody left in the bullpen. I mean, and those are managerial nightmares.
Yeah.
You start seeing line scores
Oh,
on guys
wow.
where they're like 8, 9 at bats.
Okay. Well, little fun fact. May 8th through the 9th, 1984, White Sox and the Brewers play for 25 innings, longest game in Major League Baseball history. Wow. Tom Shaver.
Tom Seaver.
Seaver, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, funny thing, and I forgot to send this to you. I have to look for it again. But Robot Chicken did a baseball thing, but it was real names in baseball.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Dude, there have been some fucked up names.
Yeah,
Fucked up names.
even for the Empire.
Yeah.
And
I mean, and now
a lot of dickheads.
exactly. So Joe West, the guy that blew the call for the Red Sox last night, or not last night, but Sunday night, he announced. I think he announced that he's going to retire. Which good. That fat fuck needs to get out of the game anyway.
Is that the one that you keep on harping about?
No, you're thinking Angel Hernandez, but that dude needs to go too. That guy needs to have not only his man card, but his Latino card. He needs to have his umpire card. He needs to have all of his cards pulled. He just needs to get sent up the river.
He needs to get his human society card, just like the people that have the over big wheels on Mustangs and shit like that.
Yes, and
I'm not
guys that
talking like
jack their
big wheels.
truck ups, and they don't they don't bother to move the axles because they got low profile chrome rims, and
Oh yeah.
and they're sucking their buddies off while they're driving it. Yeah,
Call
those
the
guys.
call back, people.
Yep.
Call him back. But anyways,
But moving on out of baseball, we're gonna hit real heavy here coming up pretty quick. We're gonna kind of review next week as kind of a programming note for our sports episode next week. We're gonna wrap up the regular season for baseball. We're gonna kind of go over the 6 games that are gonna get played this week, and we're really gonna kind of focus on the uniqueness of October 3rd.
As long as you're the one that has to watch that stuff. I tried to watch the football game when I was up at Bricktown.
Yeah.
And I was like gauging and everything. I was like, God, I'm not into sports.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to keep up with it. I'm making a trip down to Houston this weekend, but I'm definitely going to keep the ball games in my ear. I'm going to surprise the boys, my boys and her boys, by taking everybody to go see Venom on opening, or I'm going to take them on Saturday.
Yeah, it opens up on Thursday, so.
Yeah.
Actually, a couple of people have already watched it.
Yeah, I'm sure they have.
Yeah, well, red carpet. So
Yeah. But
apparently they're still doing that since the higher ups can go maskless, but the peons like us can't.
yes, the
But
peers,
we're
yeah.
above everybody else because we can go maskless and no mandates or anything like that because we're in the great nation of Texas. I mean, state. I
Right.
keep on getting that mixed up sometimes.
But so moving over to football, it was a pretty interesting weekend, both college and pro.
Well, the
Number 6 Texas A&M lost to number 16 Arkansas. Arkansas has been playing with a chip on their shoulder this year, so they're 4-0 for the first time.
there's a. We'll get this real quick. This is a sad note. Is Buccaneers linebacker Devon White had a powerful relationship with his older brother, which he tragically passed away recently. And he put up a story of how wild horses helped Devon after losing his brother, which is that's a powerful story. A lot of people.
Oh yeah.
There's certain things, and I don't dog it at all. If wild horses helped him out, wild horses helped him out, and I want
Yeah, and horseback riding, they've got a lot of that stuff for like PTSD therapy too.
yeah.
So and autism therapy, and even some Down syndrome kids
Yeah.
get to take and participate in that too. But yeah, that is sad. But
it just goes to show how certain things can help you out. Like me, it was just I started out running. I don't do that anymore, but I started out running. It helped get the edge off, or just walking around and everything like that. If something horrible's happening to me and you hear me going out, I'm gonna have to go exercise real quick. I don't know why, but that's the only time for I actually exercise like really hardcore.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody's going to be a gym rat, but
Yeah.
there was some. I didn't really watch a whole lot of college ball this weekend, but I mean, I watched the A&M game, and A&M just they outplayed themselves. I mean, they didn't show up ready to play. That's all there is to it. Saw a lot of news articles coming out of College Station talking about are the Aggies overrated? This, that, and the other. And, I mean, not a whole lot of positive press going on about the Aggie defense, the Aggie offense. And it really, really showed. I mean, I'm guessing that a lot of the players and the coaching staff read those articles and took it to heart. And they just really didn't play with a lot of fiery passion on Saturday. But be that as it may. Moving on to the pros, however.
Well,
I'm going to address this first. The Monday night game last night. The Cowboys versus the Eagles. They were playing for first place in the NFC East. Both teams were 1-1 coming into the matchup last night. The game was the home opener for the Cowboys, for the season, and it was actually the return, the 1 year anniversary from Dak Prescott breaking his ankle like the way he did last year. So it was exactly a year ago this week. So I'm going to go out and say it. Jalen Hurt, who is the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, he was a first-round pick, I believe, for the Eagles coming out of Alabama. The guy is trash, man, just absolute trash. The speed of the game, I mean, at times he seemed like he could keep up with it, but after that, I mean, the Eagles never led in that game last night, not once.
Really?
And these are supposed to be, I mean, out of the division, these are supposed to be the most heated rivals. Philadelphia hates Dallas. Dallas hates Philadelphia.
Well, they hate both Philadelphia teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the
Well, that's Pennsylvania,
Eagles.
yeah, but specifically the Eagles because they're in the same division. Now, the Cowboys are now 2-1, and the Eagles are now 1-2. But I mean, the only like real bright spot. I mean, yeah, it was 41-21 was the final score last night. So the Cowboys won by 20. But
I need to put. I think I put it up. I think I did put it up. But also, I also put up a meme today. If any of our listeners look out up our memes and everything, I put up that. How do you spell Eagles? I can't spell garbage, but it spells garbage.
Yeah. So, you know, what we're talking about here, let me see here. I just need box scores, people. Good God.
Just put on scores.
Yeah, I did. They're all stats. Here we go. All right, cool. All right, so for the Eagles, all right, in the first half, or the first quarter, the Cowboys had 18 first down plays. That was more plays that earned them a first down than the Eagles had on offense for the whole first quarter.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, he went 25 for 39. He threw for 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And the 2 touchdowns that he threw, I mean, it was just like, I'm going to chalk it up as being a fluke. Because, like I said, the guy...
I got a big question.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm looking at some of these scores, and some of them are negatives.
Oh, no, okay, so you can have negative passing yards, you can have negative rushing yards. Just like, okay, so if a rusher, like a halfback or a fullback is rushing the ball, and they get tackled behind the line of scrimmage, that's considered, that play is considered a loss, right? So you take that number of yards that running back lost when he was tackled, and you take that off of his cumulative total for the night. Just like on Sunday, when Tampa Bay went into Los Angeles to play the Rams, Tom Brady, he scored a rushing touchdown, but he had negative 3 rushing yards because he got sacked a couple of times.
And it's just their overall score for fantasy football and stuff like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I mean, Jalen Hurts, he was actually the leading rusher for the team for Philadelphia last night. Mm-hmm. 9 carries for 35 yards. Miles Sanders had 2 carries for 27 yards, and Kenneth Gainwell had 1 carry for 2 yards. But I mean, it was horrible. Let me see here. Their place kicker did not try to kick a field goal. There was no opportunity for him to get out there.
Oh, and another thing this week is I finally figured out what GOAT means. The greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I did not know.
I thought you knew that.
Dude.
Because you hear all this talk about Tom Brady being the GOAT, and you're
like,
what the fuck? He was like, is that an insult? No.
No, at first, when I first heard it, someone told me it's a good thing that they didn't go above that. And then I was like, if I'm doing sports shows, maybe I should learn what the GOAT means at least.
Yeah, Tom Brady is the absolute GOAT. I mean, he is the greatest player to ever play the position of quarterback. I mean, hands down. It's not even a contest, and it's not because I'm a Tom Brady guy. The guy, just quintessentially. I mean, we're talking about 7 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, if he can punch you with both hands and still leave a Super Bowl ring imprint on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, the dude's 44 years old, and he's out there doing shit that most 24-year-olds can't do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I mean, we're actually kind of lucky,
Yeah.
and I even heard this said on the NFL Network on Sirius Radio because I was listening to it Sunday when I was going to Amarillo to on a last minute emergency trip for my son, but
Nothing bad.
nothing bad. No, it's we'll just say I had a last minute trip out to Amarillo, but was listening to Sirius Satellite Radio's NFL Network, and even on the Fox NFL Sunday Countdown. I mean, they were like, yeah, just absolutely beside themselves. Even Terry Bradshaw, who was a Hall of Fame quarterback, he used to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a quarterback at LSU.
I know that much.
Yeah. I mean, he had nothing but great things to say about Tom Brady. He's like, we should consider ourselves lucky that we get to see somebody like this doing the things that he's doing in the NFL at his age.
Well, it really is just like seeing Michael Jordan.
It is. I mean, because you got Michael Jordan. He was that generational player. And with all the skill and talent that the players have nowadays, they're never going to be able to do the same thing that he did. Everybody wants to, even Kobe Bryant. And I know that name came up with you a couple of times, but, that was kind of a dark, fucked up humor, but, it's something that you and I both enjoy.
Okay.
We'll put the context out in just a second.
Okay.
Okay. So, Michael Jordan, never had, none of the NBA finals that he played in went to a Game 7. And he never lost a finals. Kobe Bryant can't say that. LeBron James cannot say that. We're never, I won't say that. We would be hard pressed to see another player like Michael Jordan come in and do the things that he did on a basketball court.
And that's because he was driven to the point to where even the guy that helped him out with his training and everything like that, he was like, yeah, he was driven.
Yeah.
I mean, even when, look at the flu one.
Yeah, the flu game. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the flu game.
Now, with Tom Brady, guy's the same way. He's absolutely driven. He does not care about anything except winning. He's the first to show up at the facility. He's the last one to leave every day. The dude does not eat bread. He is incredibly disciplined for his workout and his diet regimens. The guy is an absolute specimen. And he walks around. He's had a chip on his shoulder since he got drafted. He was a 6th round pick. Nobody wanted to give this guy a shot. And then when Drew Bledsoe got hurt in 2000 or 2001, yeah, it was the 2000 season. Yeah, so when Drew Bledsoe got hurt, everybody's like, oh, great, here comes this Brady kid. And then he comes out and starts winning. And he takes the Patriots to their first Super Bowl win.
Which was 2001.
Yeah, it was 2001. Yeah, because they played the Rams because it was the 9/11 Super Bowl.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, because that year in 2001, it weirded me out a little bit because I thought it was a conspiracy theory because the Yankees won, and the new.
No, the Yankees didn't win the World Series.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
I think it was in 2001 or 2002.
No, sir. Negative, Ghost Rider. They won the World Series in 2000, but they didn't win the World Series in 2001.
It was probably 2000.
They won the World. They lost the World Series in Game 7 to the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2001. Luis Gonzalez with a walk-off single in the bottom of the 9th in Arizona.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. And there's a lot of people that do say that, like 2004, or not 2004, but 2013, when we had the Boston City Marathon, or Boston Marathon, right? Everybody's like, oh, well, they rigged it so that the Red Sox could win, blah, blah, blah. And then after Hurricane Harvey hit and flooded out Houston in 2017, the Astros went and won it all. Everybody's like, oh, they rigged it.
Well, technically they did.
Technically, the Astros did, but
It's one of those things. It's like it was rigged.
but they're talking about
wrong.
rigging it. They're talking about rigging it on a Major League Baseball head office scale. But
Yeah.
But getting back to the Monday night game last night. I mean, the Cowboys absolutely needed to come out and stay out of their own way, and for the most part, they did.
When
I mean, the offense just seemed to be balanced. It seemed to be in sync. Dak Prescott took charge of that offense. And they had a couple in 3-and-out series where they had to punt the ball away. And there was one where he had a strip sack that was recovered for a touchdown by the Philadelphia defense.
basically what you're saying is Jerry Jones did not.
Yeah, Jerry Jones stayed in his fucking suite last night. Rightfully so. But, yeah, the Packers came out. They beat the 49ers 28-30. That's funny because if you were looking at Facebook at all today, or even on Monday, the 49ers took the lead with like 34 seconds left on the clock, right?
Yeah.
And you got Aaron Rodgers standing over there on the sideline with his helmet on, looking like a fucking thug-ass gangster, right? He's got that hipster hair slicked back and it's coming down behind his helmet.
Yeah, now they're comparing him with Eminem.
Right, because he got one shot, right?
Yeah.
But Aaron Rodgers took the team and they drove down the field, got to field goal within field goal range, and their kicker, Crosby, kicked a 51-yard field goal as time expired to beat the 49ers in San Francisco. And you got all these 49er fans that had their videos posted on like TikTok, YouTube, stuff like that. Well, they're just like beside themselves, and you got these Packer fans that are just like, yeah, we got 34 seconds left on the clock. Shut up, because I mean these guys knew. I mean, because that's what Aaron Rodgers does. That's what the good top shelf elite quarterbacks do. They have that capability of running a hurry up offense to get to if not score a touchdown, to at least get within field goal range. But they always give they always keep their team in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as that person's under center, they've got a shot. The Buccaneers, they just got outplayed by the Rams on Sunday, 34-24. The Vikings. Everybody was already like tossing in the towel on the Vikings, but they went in and they beat Seattle 30-17. Now, one of the biggest surprises is that for the first time since 2002, the Las Vegas Raiders are 3-0.
Wow.
They beat the Dolphins 28-31. The Jets they're the Jets. They lost 26-0 to the Broncos. The Washington Jackasses, football team, lost to the Bills 43-21. The Cardinals went in and embarrassed the Jaguars at home 31-19. Last week, Jameis Winston threw 2 picks, threw 2 interceptions, and just led the Saints to a thumping last week. They got embarrassed.
Man, I don't know what the hell's this guy's problem. I think he's drinking the wrong Kool-Aid. Well, this happened about 4 hours, and this is by Cody Benjamin. He's saying that NFL on CBS expert Phil Simms says Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in 2021. I mean, he's a good quarterback.
Right now,
I guess point spread.
well, here's the thing. You break it down by game performance. Last week, Tom Brady threw fucking 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. And
Okay.
We're looking at probably week 4.
To me, that's a knee-jerk, emotionally charged article because here we got Aaron Rodgers, 34 seconds on the clock, and he kicks it. He gets his team in field goal range. Did he score the touchdown? No. Did he throw for a touchdown? No. He got the team close enough for the kicker to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Okay? Most quarterbacks can't do that. Aaron Rodgers went in, calm, cool, as collected. I mean, cooler than the other side of the pillow, and went and got his team in range. Does that make him the greatest quarterback of 2021? Absolutely not, dude. It's fucking week 3. Give your balls a tug, tick fucker. Or it's week 4. Yeah, so it's week 4. Give your balls a tug, guy. Pump the brakes there, Fox and Friends, because we're not even halfway through the season yet.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. There's this thing on Ted Lasso for the new season, season 2, which great TV show. How Boaster, it's so family. It's not family friendly, but it has that family vibe to it. Other than the cursing and everything like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, there's a spot where the actor who plays Roy Kent on it, he's talking soccer and everything like that, like most what were they called? What's Bradshaw?
Quarterbacks?
No, announcer.
Oh.
Or announcer, or they do play-by-play. Commentary. There we go. Well, anyways, they're commentating.
Like
everything.
charades. It was kind of cool.
I know, right? Verbal charades. You have to do that with me. Pretty soon you'll get your secret decoder ring so you can understand me a little bit faster.
That's all up here.
Yeah. Anyways, he literally said, we're bitch moan and complain because this is the way we think they're going to play, and then we get upset at the end because they didn't play the way that we thought they're going to play. And he walked off, and I was like, that technically is commentators. They I mean, we're doing the same thing, yes.
Yeah.
But, and we're looking at the same stuff, but we're not going back and going, oh, he did this and there. And that's what a lot of commentators, and that's what I want to put out. On any kind of commentation or anything like that, it's their opinion. And even something like this, like Aaron Rodgers, that's why I say he's drinking the Kool-Aid, because he's saying Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback 2021. I was like, we just talked about who the best quarterback is. And it's...
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about overall Tom Brady is the GOAT. Now,
yeah.
Is Aaron Rodgers a GOAT? No, because...
He's only won 2 Super Bowls, and he was actually kicked out of the Giants.
Yeah, so, I mean, well, he was traded.
Yeah.
But...
He kicked out, traded.
When we're talking about cumulative career accomplishments, okay, nobody is going to ever be able to touch the number of rings that Tom Brady will eventually end up with.
Well, it's not even the rings.
Okay.
Okay.
And we're talking about number of MVP awards.
Exactly.
Super Bowl MVP awards, passing yards, touchdowns.
And Aaron Rodgers only has like 2.
Well, I mean,
and he's got 2 to 3 years left.
Yeah, well, he's probably got like closer to 5 or 6, but we're talking about it's week 3 or 4. I mean, it's like, seriously? Yeah, now we're going into week 4, but I mean, on Sunday that was week 3.
It's like,
so
okay. I'll put it in this kind of perspective. It's basically finding out that you're pregnant and you already know it's a boy. And when you actually you haven't even got the ultrasound yet.
I'm just going to go out and say that article, way too early.
It really is.
Way too early.
Because we're only a month into football.
Yeah.
And looking at the preseason and everything like that.
Well, preseason doesn't count, and the reason here's why.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I say preseason counts for looking at the players as a whole of what they might do. Okay. Mm-hmm. Other than the fact that you might have an injury or something like that, which I've said this before, and this is just talking with other football enthusiasts, is you find out how good the team's going to be because all the injuries that happen in the preseason.
I will agree but disagree at the same time with that statement, and here's why. The preseason is for nothing more than weeding out the rookies. That's it.
That is too.
You know your starters. They're going to get playing time. They're going to play maybe a quarter and a half each game. Some teams don't even start their starters for the last preseason game because they don't want to risk the injury because they've got opening week in a week and a half or 2 weeks later.
I think in all honesty, it's more or less for
It's to knock the rust off.
that, and
It's to knock the rust off your starters and your returning vets. It's to see what kind of prowess, what kind of skills, what kind of vision, what kind of football IQ your
Yeah.
rookies and your drafter, the people that you just drafted. What are they going to be able to bring? Can they keep up with the speed of the game at the NFL level?
And it's also nowadays it's a good indication of who you're gonna put on your fantasy football team too.
Yes and no, because again, a lot of times, unless it's a first round pick or a second and third round pick, you already know, okay, a starter's coming back from last year. Okay, this guy, he went over to this team for pre-agent. I mean, based on last year and projections, you already know, hey, this is the way that you're going to construct your draft. I mean, that's all that is. But the Saints went into Foxborough and beat the Patriots 28-13. Now, the Ravens and the Lions, that was a good game. I don't care what anybody says. That was a good game. Normally, everybody's supposed to be able to go in and just beat the shit out of Detroit and just kind of, wipe their butt with, with Ford Field and go on about their day.
Yeah, Detroit brought it this
Detroit
weekend.
brought it, yeah, and it took Justin Tucker kicking an NFL record 66-yard field goal. Now, if you've seen video of that field goal, it got all the way to the crossbar. It doinked. It went straight up and fell on the backside of the goalpost. And it counted, but you saw all of these Lions fans in the stands. I mean, they were just absolutely beside themselves. They were like, yeah, we're going to beat the Ravens, and it's going to be like the walk-off win of the year. And it was going to be the win that's going to be able to carry them forward. We're going to win so many other games off of this. But Justin Tucker lines it up, and they're all like, yeah, it's 66 yards, he's not going to make it. He kicks this thing, and it got deathly quiet. And it hit the crossbar. You heard every Lion fan go absolutely batshit crazy.
Yeah, I bet.
And then when it fell back behind the goalpost and counted, the Ravens fans that were in attendance lost their shit. And all these Lions fans just absolutely it's like their vocal cords went on strike. They couldn't talk.
I'm watching it right now, and see if you can put it. It's on the NFL.
Yeah.
Put it on our Twitter account, and if we can, share it on our Facebook so we can take a look at it.
Yeah.
So everybody can take a look at that.
But moving on to Chicago and Cleveland.
But that was really. I'm sorry.
It's an NFL record.
It's
the longest in NFL history.
Because it literally hit
It bounced up probably a good 15, 20 yards and then fell back behind the goalpost.
Yeah.
And it went through.
Yeah.
Chris Berman was like, Justin Tucker absolutely doinked the Lions fans into silence.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
It is stuff like this that I look at and review and everything like that when I'm looking at it and it comes into my feed and everything. It's the reason why I'm sad that I don't watch that and I don't have any feelings towards it, but I still get it. I'm like, oh wow,
yeah.
Yes, that's an achievement.
Yeah. So the Bears, man, the Bears. What can you say about the Bears? The Bears
haven't really been that much
the
of
Bears,
a contender.
Since Lovie Smith left the team, when he took them to the Super Bowl, albeit they lost, but they went to the Super Bowl. They have not been relevant. They have gone through like 4 or 5 different quarterbacks. Well, they've got Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is a good quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. I like the guy. I mean, he's redheaded as the day is long, but he's got a lot of good football IQ. His offensive line can't block for shit. His defense can't play for nothing. They can't get off the field. And his head coach and offensive coordinator, where the hell did they get their coaching credentials from? 2 box tops and a bag of Cracker Jacks? I mean, Chicago is an absolute train wreck this year. I mean, it's just like every year. And they go into Cleveland. Jeremy Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns put it to them. I mean, they took the Bears out to the woodshed, bent them over their knee, and hit them with not just a switch off the weeping willow tree. I mean, they hit them with a whole damn tree. They beat them 6-26. I mean, they didn't even. I mean, Chicago had 1 net yard passing offense. 1 yard passing. I mean, that might be a record that stands for a while, but that's not necessarily a record you wanted to set.
No, stuff like that is like the Purple Heart.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Purple Heart, yeah. I mean, it's what's marksmanship, a hedge for the bad guy.
Yeah.
But okay, now moving on to Cincinnati, the Bengals and the Steelers. The Bengals went into Pittsburgh and won 24-10. Ben Roethlisberger, after the game, he was like, "Yeah, we just didn't execute. I mean, yeah, we got outplayed, but I mean, most of it was we just didn't execute." And that was it. It was all it should have said. Mike Tomlin, their head coach, is like, "Yeah, we're not hitting the panic button. We're just 1-2." You know, the biggest surprise, the absolute biggest surprise, the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning AFC champions, right? Played at home versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Okay. And they lost 30-24. They've lost 2 straight games for the first time since weeks 5 and 6 of 2019. And you know, I mean, they're just like, what's going on here? Everybody's talking about are the Chargers a legit team? It's like, well, yes and no. I mean, yeah, they're on a little bit of a momentum high right now, but don't expect them to keep that up all season long. You know, they're gonna screw the pooch. I mean, I bet that the Chargers will probably finish the season 9-7. You know, so I mean, they'll finish the game above 500. I'll give them that. But they're not going to sniff the playoffs. They're not even going to get close. I mean, they're going to be competitive enough just to be a pain in your ass. I mean, that's probably going to be about it. They might play spoiler the last week or 2 of the season, but past that, I don't expect a whole lot out of the Chargers.
Here's another news thing is Colts looking to trade Marlon Mack, and he's going to be a free agent. He was only doing a 1-year, $2 million season. God, I hate freaking football players. But anyways,
yeah. Don't look at the San Diego Padres lineup.
I'm not. No. Anyways, he's only taken 13 snaps in the first 2 weeks, and then sitting out week 3 against the Titans as a healthy Scaich.
Well, if they're looking to trade him, they don't want him getting hurt, especially this early in the season. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to find that a lot, especially in baseball. You start seeing, like, toward the trade deadline, players that are projected to move or players that are getting moved. If the game has already started, they'll get pulled from the game.
Do they have the same thing like baseball does, where, like, in the mid-season they have a
You'll see trades going on most of the year. A lot of the stuff occurs during the off season, but you will see trades during the season. But the Falcons went into New York. Now, this Sunday in New York, the Giants were retiring Eli Manning's number 10 jersey. So it was basically Eli Manning Day, right? Mm-hmm. The Falcons have not been the Falcons. I mean, they really haven't. Matt Ryan, their quarterback, has not been able to find a tempo. Their offensive coordinator can't call plays for shit. Their defense is woeful at best. But they ended up squeaking out a win against the Giants in the Meadowlands, 17-14. Now the Giants are 0-3. They're not going to be good this year at all. Pure, plain and simple. Now, when it comes to their divisional games, they might try to bring it, but I wouldn't expect a whole lot from New York. Well, it looks you may not even expect a whole lot out of Atlanta for the rest of the year either. And I know that if Zach Medford's still listening to our show, he's going to be like, man, I'll be talking about my birds. But
I mean, you have to look at the statistics on that.
Zach, your Hawks, I mean, dude, they're or Falcons. They're trash, bro. I mean, that's all it is. And if
You should have just kept up with the Hawks.
Yeah, if you don't like it, if you don't like it, man, you've got my number. Call me.
No,
I dare you.
You should have kept up with the Hawks.
No, because then he would have just been totally like, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. But like, all right, dude, pump the brakes here, Thanos.
Another thing I really like is the Bills are coming back. And
yeah, the Bills Mafia, man. Jared Allen, their quarterback, is dude. I like him. I do. I really like him.
What's really strange is the last time we really haven't heard anything from the Bills until, like, you know, except for like the Cowboys beating the crap out of them for so many times.
Well, I mean, you had you had Joe Kelly, you had Thurman Thomas. I mean, those were really great Bills teams in the '90s. They just couldn't seal the deal in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that they kind of got hung with that moniker of being the worst team in the Super Bowl, but
still, they still reached the
their
Super
fan
Bowl.
base is rabid, dude. I mean,
yeah.
the Bills Mafia. I mean, these people, they are fervent about their team, and I mean,
It's kind of like the Longhorns in Oklahoma.
oh God, yes.
OU fans. That is literally.
Did you see how they redesigned the stadium down in Austin, where the players run out of the tunnel, and the section that they run out of, it's supposed to look like a longhorn,
Yeah.
right? But it looks like a fucking uterus.
I know.
I saw that and I was like, oh, that's awkward. You know?
Anybody gonna tell him? Anybody gonna?
I'm not
Anybody
gonna
gonna
tell
tell him? I'm not gonna tell him. I'm just about it funny.
But the Colts went into Nashville to play the Titans. Derrick Henry had 353 rushing yards so far this season. He's tied for the most through the first 3 weeks in team history. I think Eddie George has got that number on him, but 16-25. So I mean, the Titans, they're going to be okay. They're going to probably finish 10-6, maybe 11-5. But the Panthers came into Houston. Carolina is 3-0 for the first time since 2015 when they went to the Super Bowl with Cam Newton and lost. Bad. Anyway, so they beat the Texans 24-9. People were up on the Texans after for week 1 when they went out and won the game that they weren't supposed to. But I think reality's starting to crash down around the team, and they know because they don't have J.J. Watt anymore because he left and he went to Arizona. Their quarterback is still dealing with all of those. I mean, he's on the sidelines, but he's not playing. He's the one dealing with all the sexual assault allegations.
Yeah.
But
Which I thought they cut him entirely from the team. Yeah.
no, not yet.
God,
And see, here's the thing. If there's proof, if there's actual evidence that he even did one of these, then yeah, cut him. But
yeah,
I believe that the court of public opinion just needs to be silent here.
That's what I'm getting at.
The actual legal networks, I mean, the actual legal system needs to do its job. I mean, and I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to minimize the quote-unquote victims. I'm not trying to say, well, I don't believe them. Like, oh, me too. Shut the fuck up. All right?
No,
this is not about them, okay? It's about
what
because calling somebody a racist and claiming sexual assault or sexual harassment are the two easiest cards that anybody can play against another person. And it's not just male versus female. It's dudes sexually harassing other dudes, or women sexually harassing other women. Or women sexually harassing men. I mean, you can say, hey, this person is sexually harassing me. They're making me feel uncomfortable. Or this person made a racial slur and it offended me. That's the easiest thing that you can say to anybody. And it's two of the hardest things to disprove. Because, I mean, it's like, what is that saying? You can't disprove a negative? But it's like...
I mean, you'd actually it's one of those things that the person has to be known for it.
I mean, even then, if there's no history there, okay. But I mean, it just seemed like, okay, one woman came forward, two women came forward. Next thing you know, you got like 22 different women coming forward, and like, oh yeah, well I did this. Okay, how the hell did he have all the time to go do this?
Well, it's also that judge a couple of years back that, I mean, it was in college.
Yeah, okay. Here's my thing.
Hold on. Keep on going.
You gotta love it. Okay, so I'm going to continue on like he's still here. To my point, it's like when all these politicians, or people that get nominated for the Supreme Court, you get all of these people, especially conservative judges and things like that, that get nominated for the Supreme Court. All of a sudden, now you got somebody from 20, 30 years ago claiming that he touched me inappropriately.
Yeah.
Well, how come you're waiting until just now to come out about it?
When he's popular.
Whenever it matters. I mean, are you just trying to get your 15 minutes? What's going on here? Are you getting paid to be this way?
And she was.
You literally have to, and it sucks because, we should give some credence to the accuser, right? But we live in a day and age now, unfortunately, where we have to look at the accuser and be like, that's a little sus. We have to really kind of be careful because some of these people they're out to they're out to make a buck, and so they don't care how they do it, even if that means derailing the career of somebody else. Even if they had sex just one time and it was consensual, whatever. I mean, what are we gonna have to start doing? Are we gonna have to start carrying around little flashcards and we can just have people sign them and they become legally binding contracts? You agreed on this date to have consensual sex with me, signed by, your hand, my hand. I mean, if we got to start carrying this stuff around, look for the population to take a dip. And really, I mean, because it's just
I like how
it's a bigger mood killer than having to put a damn rubber on.
And what a lot of people don't understand is this isn't anything really new.
And it's really not.
Because Dave Chappelle did a skit on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a binding contract and everything like that. And they were both going over. It's like, okay, this is all right, this is okay. Anal, we'll put that in the maybe column.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Just as kind of a side note here, before we get back on that subject, Chiefs head coach Andy Reid, after the game on Sunday, he was transported to the hospital because he wasn't feeling well and he was being kept for observation. He got released from the hospital yesterday. He's feeling better and he's ready. He's ready to get back to work. The guy's got a heart problem. I mean, you see all these skits.
He's having a heart problem for a couple of 5-6 years.
Yeah, I mean, because the guy he loves his cheeseburgers. Don't get me wrong. But
cheeseburgers are good.
Yeah, but because you can tell that he's lost weight because he's had to put himself on a diet.
If you have a cheeseburger and then you have a cheeseburger milkshake, yeah, you might have a little problem.
Yeah, but on the on the positive side of it,
I still want to try that chocolate cake milkshake.
Yes,
in Chicago.
You lost me at cake. The Lions release linebacker Jamie Collins after they put him out on the trade block. Nobody wanted him, so they were like, you know what, we're done. Go pack your shit, get out. Look for him to get picked up by a team that needs a linebacker, and they're going to get a good deal on him. Yeah, I mean, getting back to the sexual harassment thing, I mean, it sucks that we have to, we've been forced into thinking you're guilty until proven innocent when it should be the other way around.
No, it's what it is. It's the society is proving the judge, jury, and executioner right now.
Right,
compared
court of public opinion, right, which is what I said.
Yeah, and right now we are in a society that we can communicate faster than light. And
You know,
people,
you just pissed off Albert Einstein, right? That's not a good thing to do. But I get what you're saying. You know, with social media being what it is, with the 24-hour news cycle.
and we've always had this problem. And if you look back a long time ago, just not even, I'm talking about when we had snail mail.
Yeah.
People, if you didn't like something, there was a mail-in rejection.
Yeah.
We've always had this, but now it's at the point where it's flashing into your face constantly.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, this is my beliefs, and this is the reason why I do this.
And if
this
you
is-
don't believe the way that I believe, then you're
You're
somehow
wrong.
a fascist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And that's
yeah.
another thing that you can call somebody that you're a Nazi, you're a fascist, you're a racist, you're
Yeah, I showed you that thing today with Chris Pratt.
yeah.
Yeah, because he follows Ben Shapiro and Dan Crenshaw and Turning Point. I mean, there has been no mystery at all as to
Him being a conservative, God-loving person.
a God-fearing conservative. I mean, the guy's a patriot and he supports our troops. I love Chris Pratt. I absolutely do.
And he's married to a Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he's married to a Schwarzenegger. But, you know, somebody was like, oh, my God, he's such a, you know, this, they started a petition to have him removed as the voice of Mario because they don't agree with his politics. Get the fuck over yourself.
Well, people, it was the same thing with Gal Gadot doing the Cleopatra.
Yeah.
I was like, everybody's like, oh, she's not, she shouldn't do that. They should find somebody the same ethnicity. I'm like, she was a Mossad.
Yeah, she was a Mossad. She will fucking kill you.
Yeah, one,
She was an Israeli
she-
Defense Force fighder.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
one of those
Wonder Woman actually stacked bodies, bro.
I know, right? But it's the thing is, if it was like hell, even Will Smith got caught up in it not being black enough because he was playing that King something.
The Serena Williams, the Williams sisters movie coming out.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
and they were like, oh, he's not black enough. What? I mean, they even had. This is totally fucked off. They got upset because when there's this movie with a black kid in it, and they had to go in and do a little bit of CGI work on him.
What, to make him blacker?
No, they had to lighten him up a little bit because you couldn't see him in the scene. And
Okay.
people found out that they did this. They're like, I can't believe you do that. That's just whitewashing. That's whitewashing. I was like,
Well, here's the dirty secret for our woke crowd. These Hollywood movies that you're bitching and moaning about
aren't real.
all of these celebrities and Hollywood stars that you fawn all over, most of them are pedophiles. So wrap your little minds around that one. You know, people get bent out of shape for the wrong things.
Yeah.
Pure, plain and simple. And it's like, how boring and fucked up is your life to where you have to focus on something so superficial that's got nothing to do with you. You know, instead of trying to ruin somebody's career, how about you worry about your corner of the universe? Make it a better place. Because cumulatively speaking,
I wish I could say I remember. I wish the days when public opinion wasn't as stacked as it is now, but it's always been like that.
yeah, just people have a voice now, or feel like they have a bigger voice.
I mean, look at how
they've got keyboards and screens to hide behind, because people, they don't have to worry about speaking their minds and worrying about somebody coming and punching them in the face for it.
And I wish there was people like God, who's the lead singer?
Twisted Sister, Dee Snider?
Dee Snider. I wish there was more Dee Sniders out there because he literally went to Congress and told people, it was like, hey, listen, we have freedom of speech, and this person is doing this to us. And he had a lawyer with him that was, it was like back and forth. He made this whole. You can look up this speech and everything. Look up Dean Snyder Congress. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to put up, and it was very, very, very monumental. I mean, stuff that I'll look up on the internet at times that just gives you very, very high inspirational. That you're surprised this person is very, very out there with what they want in life, like the freedom of speech, which we have.
Right.
You might not like what some people say, but it also gives you a good starting point of how that person is. I mean, if that person wants to talk like a jackass, okay, I don't have to listen to that jackass. But at least we know now.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of people that I'll still be friends with and everything like that because they are keyboard warriors. But it's the basic fact of, okay, I know not to go on this topic with you because you believe that you're right. And there's a lot of people that just believe that they are right. And I'm the type of person that if you keep on doing something, it's like a flat earther. And this is coming off Neil deGrasse Tyson saying this, is if you have the basic facts and the other person still wants to argue after 5 minutes, just go, okay. Just say, okay, you're right, and just walk away, because it's not good for you to stress out and waste your breath when you can be doing something productive in life.
Right.
Even if the person feels that they won, it's like, did they win? I was like, fuck no, the guy's retarded. But I just let him. Sometimes you gotta give the Marine a crayon, see if he eats it or dries with it.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day,
Oh, that was funny. You didn't laugh.
I slapped my knee.
I saw that, and fuck you.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, if you're going to be offended by things very easily, grow a skin or stay home.
Or turn us off.
Yeah.
I mean, don't turn us off. I mean, keep on watching. Push through.
Push through, grow a set, give them a tug. But we
as a society it's one of those things that you have to have the basic fact of just let them talk.
we were given certain rights endowed upon us by our Creator, and just like we were given the freedom of speech, we were also given the freedom of choice. You can choose to turn us off. You have the choice to keep scrolling. I can't count the number of liberal celebrities that I follow on Twitter just because I need a laugh, in the middle of the day.
Yeah, lots of people need that.
And I'll see some of the most asinine shit, and I'm like, how do you garner the cognitive capacity to generate the muscle power to breathe with that kind of stupidity, that kind of vile garbage falling out of your mouth? Oh wait, you're just using your celebrity as a pedestal.
Well, it's like, okay,
you know what I do? I just I keep scrolling.
Well, it's like last week with Maxine Waters.
Waters, yeah.
Waters. I mean, she went out with the context of what she just basically went on the context of, hey, we can talk about this right now, and we now don't have cowboys on Border Patrol right now, only because the basic fact is a photo was taken out of context, and 2 photos were actually. Even CNN pushed the photo down, but they still kept the article up.
Yeah.
And it was, and if you're blind to news articles and everything like that, what it was is a photo of a Border Patrol agent on a horse, and it looked like he was whipping him with a whip, but it turns out it was one of the reins. He let go of the reins to grab a hold of this Haitian.
Yeah, it grabbed him by the shirt. There was no whipping involved, and they're just pushing the narrative. Now, I here as of late, I find myself agreeing with Governor Abbott less and less. But I do agree with him when he said, if you are punished by the Biden administration, I will hire you as part of the Texas border guard. And it was like, you'll always have a job here in Texas. And it's like, yeah, absolutely. And like I said, race and sex, two easiest arguments that you can throw at any group or an individual. And you can basically do whatever you want after that, because they're going to be spending all their time and efforts trying to disprove the accusation.
And as a person that knows the government, I'm still wondering. It's like, okay, you're bringing this up. What are you trying to hide?
Yeah, exactly.
But other than that, is there any more sports news?
Not that I saw. Like I said, this is going to be a pretty exciting week for baseball. It's the last week of the regular season. And
we're getting more into it.
The Jaguars and Bengals are going to play on Thursday night. I'm thinking that the Bengals are going to probably win by 17.
Don't say that unless you're going to put money on it.
The Bengals are going to win by 17. But we got some weather moving in, and we'll see how that fares out.
Yeah.
We may have a lot of opportunity to get some episodes in the can, but
But we won't do that until we actually have notification of that. But this is Nerd Sports. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you later.